Hello, Reckoning7, and welcome back to Combat Mission. It's been a bit of a hot minute since we had some Combat Mission on the channel, and after this short break, I am raring to get back into it. And how are we getting back into it? Well, we are in Black Sea, and we are continuing with our friends, the 2nd Cavalry Regiment, in the charge of the Stryker Brigade campaign. So we're heading into Mission 2, which is called Let's Roll. And in this one, the 2CR has been tasked with conducting a spoiling attack on some known enemy positions. We've been asked to secure some key urban terrain and to degrade Russian combat power therein. In game terms, we've been tasked with taking objective Tomahawk, objective Musket, and objective Cannon. We also have a number of touch objectives, 1 to 5, 1 to 9, 1 through 3, and 1 through 1 as well. And there are some points on the board for destroying Russians and not taking casualties. Interestingly, there's also this phase line razor, which runs all the way through the map, but has no points associated with it, so may not be relevant in the slightest. What forces do we have to conduct this mission? Well, we have our usual Stryker setup. So on the board to begin with, we have 2 Stryker platoons. So that's the usual assortments of 4 Stryker vehicles, fitted with a mix of 50 caliber machine guns or automated grenade systems. And we have the usual infantry platoons and heavy machine guns, command, fire support, breach team, and of course there's a few javelins sprinkled amongst my Strykers as well to provide some native AT support. In terms of supporting off-screen assets, we've got 120mm mortars we can call in straight away, and some 155mm howitzers. And as per the last mission, we have a Raven UAV. Now, we will be getting reinforcements throughout this 2-hour mission. After about 5 minutes, we're going to get a mobile gun system platoon. That is essentially 3 Stryker vehicles with 105mm tank guns slapped on top, which is going to give us a little bit more native firepower. In addition, after about 15 minutes, we will get a sapper platoon and the company HQ. And after about an hour, we will get our 3rd platoon to round out the company. We will also get an increase in off-map supports. We will get another platoon of 155mm mortars coming in after, I think it's about 15 minutes. After about half an hour, I believe it is, we're going to get another Raven UAV. And finally, after 45 minutes, we're going to get 4 Apache helicopters to play around with. In terms of the enemy, we're told it's a motorized rifle battalion, complete with BTRs, BMPs, T-72s. We also are made aware that they are expecting to be reinforced by motorized infantry at some point during the scenario, so likely to come from either this road or a road down the bottom. And so it's not simply what starts on the map to begin with. Okay, so with that all in mind, what's the general plan? Well, looking over the objectives, and more importantly, the distribution of points for the objectives, drives a bit of a clear strategy to begin with. So we have key objectives here now, Tomahawk and Musket. Now these are worth, combined, 1,600 points of the 2,000 points on offer for terrain objectives. There's an additional 600 for inflicting casualties and not taking casualties, but I'll not worry too much about those. But in terms of the terrain objectives, Musket and Tomahawk, the lion's share. The touch objectives are only worth 50 points each, and objective cannon is worth 200, where these are 1,600 combined. So that's really where I want to focus my efforts. And therefore, that's exactly what we're going to do. So we've got combined both our platoons in this edge or this northern part of the map. We're going to push in towards objective Tomahawk with both platoons, ideally secure at minimal casualties, and then push on and take objective Musket, again securing it with minimal casualties. At that point, we'll then take stock and decide whether we think it is worth our time, effort, and whatever state our forces are in to push along the rest of the map and try and seize objective cannon and the various touch points sprinkled without. We may decide at that point that it's not worth it, and we just kind of park the bus and call it a win. We shall see. One thing we'll have to be aware is after taking objective Musket, there's a potential reinforcement route directly to us, so we're going to have to leave enough forces to defend against any potential Russian push. Now, as I said, we do have 2 hours on the maps, which is a lot of time, so I'm planning to take this fairly slow and steady. Lots of safe recon, utilising UAVs to see what's coming at us, and try and be fairly methodical as we clear this top section of the map. The risk with taking our time is going to be that the enemy reinforcements turn up before we hold objectives, and then they get the advantage of the defence. Now, we have been given some intel ahead of time, including suspected positions of 2 tanks. So my kind of first order of business, as I slowly recon the edge of these houses with my Stryker platoons, is going to be to grab the UAV, identify these tanks, and use precision strikes to take them out. I think that's got to be our primary objective to get things kicked off, because they are, by far and large, the biggest threats. So our other concerns are going to be Russian ATGM positions. Obviously, our Strykers won't stand up to those. And similarly, just rounding our corners and walking Strykers into RPG ambushes. So again, try and be fairly slow, fairly methodical. We shall see how it goes. Probably once we get into the kind of start of the urban terrain, I'm going to dismount my infantry. And we're probably going to spend most of this mission, I think, dismounted, perhaps getting mounted to do some sprints across open sections. We shall see. But in the first instance, I want to get in, clear Tomahawk, and then we'll take stock of where we are and push on musket. The other thing we have to concern ourselves with is, although it's fairly flat and open, obviously lots of breaks in line of sight driven by these walls as well as the buildings themselves. So it's fairly compartmentalized when you actually look at it and break it down. So we should be able to take or approach Tomahawk and approach musket without opening ourselves up to sight lines from most of the other map. The other key thing about musket, and one of the reasons I want to go after it fairly early on, is of course these towers will provide excellent vantage points over both the rest of the town, if we do want to push towards these touch points and cannon, and also of the approaches of this road. So you have to be wary of the Russian potential ATGM position up on that hill. And that's where we are with things. So the plan will be, I'm going to put a cut in, we'll let our UAV get up in the air, and once we're in a position to call in a precision strike, or we make contact on the edge of this town, then I will bring you guys back and we shall see how we're getting on with things. I'll catch you then. 2 minutes in, and things get a bit of a louder kickoff than perhaps we had planned. First we spot a BTR on this right hand flank in a more advanced position than we perhaps anticipated, especially how it seems to be isolated from infantry. It's carrying a 30mm gun on top, which is more than enough to poke holes in my Strykers, so something which was definitely concerning. Although we should only be within visual range for a short while. I think it was this squad actually, or maybe not, this squad picked it off just as our troops scuttled across this slight open area. More of a concern was this ATGM, which came at our command BTR. Well, it looked almost like it was targeting the FO unit, which I know it wasn't. Hit the ground early, but then our 50 cal responds, and our 50 cal responds over here, which is just as well, because had these been the grenade systems, I don't think they would have been as useful. In terms of BTR, you see multiple penetrations in the front turret, potentially knocking their main gun out of action. I say this a lot and it never happens. Either way, they retreat. In terms of the ATGM team, we can come back to where we lose sight of them. No known casualties inflicted, but enough to make them cower behind it. There it is, cowering away, so it doesn't get a second shot off, but something we are going to have to be concerned about. Our UAV is in the air. So far all it's spotted is a jeep, so we're waiting for some more solid spots. But that was a little bit of heat and excitement, more so than I particularly wanted in the first couple of minutes, just as we crested this hill. One thing worth mentioning is this is not an ATGM team, it's actually a manpad team. I was reading the symbol wrong, and they did loose a missile at our UAV. Thankfully they missed and our UAV survives, but something to be aware of, especially when we want to bring those Apaches in. And we get a second spot just towards the end there of a, well, it's a BTR, but an observation one. You are not a threat in the slightest. I don't want to waste any precision ammunition on you. I want that tank spotted. Although who knows if it's still there. Okay, so we will have to be quite quick trying to get over this crest. We're dismounting some infantry here, just to provide a screen, as we've done here, as we attempt to kind of leapfrog our known positions forward. But that was a little bit more crossed fingers when I was hoping to get things kicked off. As it is, plan remains the same. Try and steadily grow forward, wait for the spot, bring in some precision artillery. So hopefully I'll bring in when we get that spot. Alright, we are a minute or so down the line, and things are starting to heat up in a somewhat alarming manner. First and foremost, we'll come back to here actually. We got the spot on the tank, which is excellent, so we're slightly further out than the initial indicated. So we've got ourselves our T-72. We can bring down some precision HE on this when we get a minute. However, I've just done off camera, I think we're about 2 minutes into it now, it was actually called down. We had a precision mortar strikes. We had a couple of precision rounds, I think 8 shells from our 120mm mortar, and I thought that would be a good use to try and confirm a kill on that ATGM crew. So a couple of minutes before that one strikes, and then we can move on to dealing with that T-72. In the meantime, we did get to the first line of houses, and I'm dismounting a number of my teams. Unfortunately, we took some casualties, and I probably should have shown this at the tail end of the last minute. And it's one of those frustrating ones where you don't micro the path finding. So when I kind of dropped this building position, I thought that's fantastic, we'll get out and we'll get in this door. Instead they chose to go round to this door and walked in full view of another BTR with 30mm cannon. And you know, quite one short burst and 4 of our infantry dead. It's a pretty poor result, to be perfectly honest. And these guys are having a bit of a bad day. Also, there's some other Russian vehicle there has decided to pop smoke. So we've got a little bit of fight in our hands, and I've already taken casualties, which is not a great start to things, but we'll see how we get on. There's a number of AT assets within these infantry. There's... what was that you just launched? Is that out? AT round or just a grenade? Hold fire. Oh my god, it's a vehicle coming in there. Right. this is gonna get busy. Who and what is launched? It looks like, oh, it's just an underslung grenade from our. Is it the platoon leader has that? No, he has it here with the M320 attachment. It's not the actual AT weapons that they have, so he's just lobbing a grenade at it. And gets a hit and gets penetration, which is good because that thing could chew through the rest of this platoon in the building. This was just supposed to be a scouting position. I was not anticipating so many Russian vehicles so close to the front, and perhaps I should use my UAV to scout this a little bit more religiously. Okay, and then we've got it's just another BTR casually rolling in on our flank here. Okay, and takes something to the front. Ah, so that's 184. Yeah, 84 anti-tank. One use launcher thing. Right, penetration run. So that should be a dead vehicle at that range, full front on. Second grenade. That sounds like a javelin popping off somewhere. Okay, I'm going to look at that in a moment. Okay, so they have dismounted, that's good. They're dismounting, excellent. And there's another BTR amongst this here, okay. But crew dead. You love to see it. One other BTR back here somewhere. Okay, let's not waste all our ammunition, please. Right. So actually that ended up being a pretty positive outcome. We know there's one other BTR lurking around here, so that's essentially what one platoon of Russian infantry at this forward position. I'm going to have to take some of my chin. I've walked into it a little bit. That's some casualties I'm not particularly happy about, but not a bad outcome. Now, who is launching a javelin and what they're launching at? I didn't see anything over here, so I'm assuming it's at one of these vehicles over this direction. Oh, it's not our UAV that has the spot on the tank. It's actually this infantry. Which I did get them to acquire a javelin out of the Stryker. So I'm guessing it's you guys have a go. Oh, if I can get my camera angle right. Who's got the javelin? There it is there. Indeed you are. What is your sightlines like? Well, your eyes are better than mine. Oh, that is some good spotting. Where is it? Yeah, I got the coordinates. Confirming fireman. he goes. It looks like they get the kind of laser designation. They don't return fire. Ah, it's a miss though. Okay, and then we heard a second one pop towards the end, but
Not good.
I think that was just at the last second, so I'm not sure we're going to see a hit on that. Okay. Ooh, another round out of our drone. Not that our drone's at that height, but there you go. And there's a second javelin away. Okay, we're going to stay this one to see if it hits. Meanwhile, our team over on this side aren't doing too much, and this is a bit of a hot fight. So, things I'm going to want to do. Let's jump into command. You guys are going to need to acquire yourselves your javelin, if I haven't done that already. Please take javelin ATGM, and you grab a missile as well. And yeah, I think I'm going to want you guys to decant yourselves quickly up into this building to help see what's going on. I hadn't even dismounted the machine gun because I just wanted a short engagement with not much going on. That may not be the case. Right, you still you are. I'm loath to expose my strikers too much to the BTR cannon, but at the same time, obviously you do need support for your infantry. You should have regional line of sight. Can put holes in it if they come unstuck first. I'm going to leave you guys in the vehicle where you are. Flank is a little bit more secure. I've got a couple of eyes and ears out and not much going on. Let's push forward through these trees. Next building I would like you guys to secure over here, and then we'll get the merry gentleman out and into a building. Again, if you haven't done it already, let's make sure everyone's got their javelins to hand, because you never know when you're going to come across it. And I'll not push anyone else forward. You need to come over to where the command vehicle is. You're in there until we find out what's going on. Double check, make sure UAV is still alive. It is indeed. Good. So I should probably... Well, we've got the precision mission coming in. Not now? What happened? I'm certain I had asked this to be precision general immediate.
Indirect.
Firm. Okay, not sure what I did wrong first time. Let me just double check another HQ that I've not inadvertently set up like the 155 or something ridiculous like that, although it was the same spotter, so oh, they still got theirs. You are actually down to, so apparently, or maybe they've just not landed yet. Or maybe I was so busy focusing on the vehicles I didn't see them come in. We'll wait and see. Okay, well let's see if we can't get ourselves a tank kill with a javelin. Hey! Beautiful. Okay, good job infantry team. That was not a big target. They just happened to get the right line of sight when scouting kind of paid off. One dead T-72. Beautiful. We shall spin around this way, see if we get in more sight of the Russians, and especially that BTR we know was hiding just here. It could try and escape in the smoke. Aha! Okay, that was our 2 precision rounds. Now the first ones were personnel, which I don't use that often, but I wanted to play around with. You should see the kind of starburst, which you'd think would inflict some casualties on the... But to be honest, you don't know until you get eyes on. Hello. Okay. Yay! That looked like another one of our AT assets, the 84s. There he is there. In fact, there's 2 of them. Please don't tell me you use them both. I don't have that many, and I'm going to need them by the looks of things. with like a couple of grenades. Oh, oh, maybe not. Maybe they did both fire. Oh, excuse the language. That's a good hit. That's another that's a platoon's worth of BTRs we've taken out there. Although not the associated infantry, they're just the crew. I'm guessing the infantry's probably dug in town somewhere. But that's a good start. It could have potentially been much worse, though. I'm still slightly sad about having lost 4 casualties there, but happens sometimes. Alright. And our MGS has turned up. Beautiful. There you go. Stryker, big gun slapped on top, which will give us a little bit more firepower. So some obviously inbuilt AT capabilities for popping, hopefully, more BTRs, BMPs, and the like. And also for blowing known positions like places ATGMs may be. Cool. Well, I'm putting on the as things stand. That should hopefully have things should calm down a little bit over here. We'll push in and we'll see if we can get some eyes on whatever is defending Tomahawk. Could well be the infantry from this platoon. I don't know. We shall wait and see. And either we'll bring these MGS up if we get a known infantry position in the building and just smack it with a few 105mm HE rounds. I'll bring you back for that. Okay, Sam. Things have been much more calm and steady over the last few minutes following the desired pattern of push forward a Stryker with a scouting element, take a position, discover it's safe, and then move forward the rest of the platoon. However, as we have approached Tomahawk here in front of us, we don't need to chase the greens, we did get sightlines back on this tower, and our ATGM friend is unfortunately still very much alive. So it was 2 general purpose, 2 anti-personnel precision mortar rounds, which we saw on camera. This was followed by 2 precision general 120mm mortar rounds, which you see landed here and here, so of no use at all whatsoever. And unfortunately, they're very much alive. And there was an amazing spot actually through a whole bunch of trees by our Stryker. You can't actually see the top of this tower from where he is, but apparently he knows he's there. As we're unloading infantry, and manages to get a kill with 50 cal. Now, there may be other members of his team. We may have inflicted casualties. We don't know. That's definitely a dangerous position we'll have to keep an eye on. But thankfully, it seems to be for now, but the threat has abated. We shall see. I'll probably try and move that Stryker out of the way regardless, as I don't want to take an ATGM anywhere. And we've finally got our first spot in and around the objective of some kind of infantry. I see out on the balcony. That's a bold place for you to be. Spotted by our observers, which we snuck into this building here. I would quite like to get some kind of heavier-ish firepower and really bring you a bad day. Actually, I could move my machine gun team to this building. So I might hold them here for a minute, just see if we get any spots within the larger building complex, because let's take on our enemies one at a time, eh? Meanwhile, we're starting to, we've taken up a 4th position here, and we're just kind of feeding our troops forward along known safe-ish routes. In terms of the mobile gun systems, I've got one which is supporting 1st platoon here, and I have 2 targeted rounds to support 2nd platoon, just because there's more space for manoeuvre over here, and we could even potentially put one up on the hill overlooking this road coming in if we feel we're in a position to do so, or fire down into the barracks complex. Okay, that was all I wanted to mention. What am I going to do about him? You are... Oh, you've got a different machine gun, 12.7mm. You've not got a 50 cal. Okay. No, I'm being an idiot. Being a massive idiot. Okay, you've got the 50 cal. I'm probably guessing those things are the same. So I could easily swing you around along the road here, take on a side view of said balcony from something like this position, and just holds it down with 50 cal, which does feel like a reasonable solution. As if I get tucked in behind this building, I'm not really exposed to anything else. Obviously, we don't know about all these building positions, but I shouldn't be exposed by anyone in amongst here. So let's position you to maybe do that. Allow me to obviously get the troops out before I do so. So I want you to come around here and just tuck yourself for now, hidden behind that building, and we'll maybe dismount troops before I swing you out into the open. Okay, but yeah, well, I'll keep doing what I'm doing, and I will bring you back from something else to talk about. So I've literally just kind of cut away, press play, and I'm bringing you straight back, because while I was humming and hawing about the best position to get into to deal with these foolish Russians sitting in a balcony, turns out one of my other strikers had a lovely view, which I hadn't anticipated on. In fact, it's not even showing as him having a view when I click on said Russian. But as was evidenced by the, in fact you can see it there, by the large volume of incoming automatic grenade rounds, which did a pretty good job of clearing the balcony. So pleased with that, although I'm a little bit leery in case there's some AT weaponry within there. I thought he was better hidden. Uh-oh. Okay. So it looks like another ATGM team up here, which fair enough, to be expected. They've fluffed their lines. Who were they shooting at? Oh, we got a glimpse of a command HQ as it turned around this corner. Okay, that's fine. In fact, he was the last one to get. He's just attracting all the ATGMs. You may also hear random explosions. There is some Russian artillery falling in quite a wide area, but as yet not doing me any harm, and indeed falling amongst their own troops as well. I'm just kind of keeping an eye on it, but it's not doing anything too untoward. Yeah, and then move yourself out of the way. Good. That's something else I'm going to have to be aware of. The other thing I did notice was I was getting a machine gun out into this position to help hold down the balcony. Not that that's required. I may be able to use him to take out the ATGM. So we should have the range. A kilometer. Oh! And a loss of our first striker. From where? Oh, camera shake. Don't tell me it was that ATGM up on top of that tower, after all. Kind of assuming it must be, just because I'm not sure where else I can actually see him. Not that he can really see the top of the tower, but he was shooting at it, so I suppose only fair that they get to shoot back. But that is disappointing. Disappointing. Okay. Well, you can't crack on without breaking eggs, and there goes our first striker. Although I guess I now have some pretty good volunteers for who's going to sit in amongst this first objective. One thing I'm querying is whether I want to just utilise a whole bunch more mortars to knock this place out. Or knock that place out, to be fair. Then we can absolutely get our machine gun to hose this place down, but again, there's no guarantee of necessarily knocking them out. But let me utilise our mortars, because I'm not using them for much else. Although we could just drop some regular 155mm rounds on. Let's try that. We've got just a medium intensity is fine, but let's just do a short. I feel this is slightly overkill for a single ATGM position. Let's get that out of the way, and then let's maybe try and rely on our heavy machine gun here, once in position to suppress that known position there. I'm kicking myself, but I lost the striker. As I do every time. I'm starting to break out scout groups with the usual don't engage if you can't see anyone type orders. As we continue to shuffle our forces forward. The next position I want to take is actually this building here. Should be okay. We're starting to expose ourselves to the flank slightly where I don't have a vision. It's also time for you, gentlemen, to get back into your vehicle, although I would like to perhaps do a little bit of buddy aid, so let's do that. See if we can't rescue our friends. I'm going to keep you there until we get that suppressed. We are going to push up on the next position that we want to hold a scout. I'm tempted. Well, I can either stop here, and that protects my flank from anything that could be down this way, but there's not huge amounts that could be down that way. Yeah, but all it takes is one plucky Russian squad. But does expose me to, say, this position here. Not that we've identified anyone from our scouts thus far. Yeah, I'm going to do this and get the guys to cross the road on foot, which is obviously dangerous for them because an infantry team will hurt them, but it wouldn't hurt the striker. But needs must. I would like to get some forces up here eventually when we push in, because I think that's a good place for which to try and inflict some casualties upon gentlemen up in these towers, as well as generally dominate the positions in there. But first, let us clear out Tomahawk. Okay. I'll let us run, although I don't think there's anything particularly interesting going on. There's some more Russian artillery. Perhaps we might just want to get out of dodge before we get more casualties. And say, sorry lads, you're getting left behind. Although we seem to have survived that quite well. Alright, well, as ever, I'll bring you back next time with something worth talking about. Alright, so we've maybe 4 or so minutes further down the line. We're now in a position where we're about to push into objective Tomahawk. We did get, was one lone Russian popped up in this balcony again, get taken out by our 50 cal, which was in that flanking position, and then we've seen presumably the last of the squad run away, and it looks like he's going to end up in these buildings, so something we'll have to take care of. And he has, oh, he's got a sniper rifle. Okay, so something to be aware of. But yeah, we are about to, with this team, use their breach charges to pop a hole in this wall and then pop a hole in the building itself to get access without having to go around the corner. That's how lazy we are. No, obviously, so we don't expose ourselves to any fire from these directions. We have got a potential sound contact infantry in these low buildings. So we are going to use our machine gun team here, who aren't properly deployed yet, actually. Can I get you to... I'm just going to use it semi-deployed because I want the impact now. Fire into this building because they don't have line of sight on the one beside it. So potentially we might do some suppressing. We might not. So it could be a little bit of urban fighting, which is always a bit of a toss-up and not something I particularly like. Meanwhile, we have got this machine gun team set up over here, and they are hopefully suppressing the ATGM position in that tower. And we still haven't got strikes on that one with R155. But let's maybe kick things off, see if we can't get ourselves into Tomahawk. And who's shooting what? Ah, okay, 50 cals. Let's try and get a sniper as he runs away. I'm okay with that. This is making me a little bit nervous as more and more infantry apparently pile into this building. Oh, hello. Okay. This is really bad timing. Oh my god. This is horrendous. I'm surprised there aren't grenades flying out everywhere. Well, there's a breach in the wall, but now these guys are about to push through when there's Russians right there. Don't grenade me, don't grenade me! Oh my god. Unfortunately, that was only one. That was absolutely wild. Now, yes, okay, piling everyone together, that was probably questionable. But I'd had a unit sat in this building, and there was no contact at all. Oh, this guy's wrong on the roof. That was chaotic. Okay, so we're fortunate. I think we ended up with 3 casualties there. And we do have obviously some fire from our flanking positions here, and that could have gone a lot worse. Oof. Okay. Let's resolve this before we finish things off. I'm going to keep you guys doing what you're doing, and I'm going to change your orders to just... do I want to pull you back? No, just get yourselves, if you can, behind this wall, and we'll go from there. You guys are going to clear this firing order, and you can shoot at whatever you would like to shoot at. I mean, I would love to get my strikers a little bit more involved, but there's a tower over there and a question of just how well it's been suppressed. And likewise, what happens if I pop up over here? A pickle to be sure. Right, well, I think I'm going to have to take some risk of exposure. So I need to bail my infantry out before they all get murdered. But you launching grenades, okay, which is good, but highly dangerous. And the Russians are falling back, but falling back into places we have ability to shoot upon, which is good. Alright, he should hopefully get caught as he runs across the road. I'm really nervous about him. Small arms fire is not a problem. You guys are not blasting? Okay, apparently we don't need to blast. Fine. I used both your charges in that hole in the wall. Okay, not a problem. I think we have resolved the situation, so we lost, yeah, five casualties. Not insignificant. That was crazy. We have over here, I think this is just one of the drivers, because he gets spotted earlier. Yeah, that's fine. And then we've got one Russian in here. Oh, it's the man with the sniper rifle. Okay. And we have the remnants of the squadron's headquarter units and some infantry running across here. Oof. Don't know how many Russians actually died in all that. I was expecting to see more corpses. Well, in and around here, there's not actually that many. There's a good number on the roof. Oh, yeah. Oh, these guys got absolutely mullered. Excellent. Okay, so at least my kind of flanking side of things worked well. If the straight on attack ended terribly. Okay, good. Right, I think we're going to close things there because that's about 40 minutes. Only last thing I want to mention is we also got our sappers have turned up. It was just a section, not a platoon, so we've just got one additional sapper team. Put them to good use eventually. But it's been... oh, no, tell I just didn't see the rest of them. Cool. Alright, we've got an additional sniper, laser designator, all that good stuff. Perfect. Well, we'll play around next time. We'll finish clearing out Tomahawk and we'll make a move on musket. Hopefully having taken care of our ATGM friends. All in all, it's okay. I wish I hadn't lost quite so much infantry casualties thus far, but it's perhaps not the worst thing in the world. I think what I'm probably going to do is get... I don't want to leave too much behind in Tomahawks. I want as much as I can in muskets. So I may be leaving behind maybe even just one platoon and one HMG to kind of guard each end of Tomahawk and then push everything else in the musket, and then we'll leave behind the kind of battered remnants of whatever platoon's left at that point. But we shall see. Anyway, I hope you're enjoying this. Hope you're enjoying Return to Comp Mission. As ever, leave your thoughts, etc. down below. I'm glad to be back in it, although feeling somewhat rusty walking into booby traps, etc. But that's the nature of the game. Anyway, I'll catch you next time. Cheerio!